All right, everyone, welcome to my September 2022 self-improvement review. Let's just jump right into this. So my financial goals, I used to start out with, I'm not really gonna go over that as much. I believe that all my other goals kind of feed into that. So I'm gonna start off with my YouTube goals. So my goal is to have 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year, 2022. And the progress that I made on that is I've stayed pretty consistent with I have stayed consistent with the once a week uploads. I've been doing a little bit more longer form content. I've been doing a guitar build, as you can see in my previous videos, and I've been doing that to kind of buy time while I finished the book Writing Better Lyrics by Pattison, because I want to get back to doing songwriting stuff, including songwriting analysis. And while reading that book made me realize there's a lot I don't know about songwriting that I do know now. So I'm rereading that book a second time so I can go through and do a proper analysis of all these different songs that I've been looking at. So that's been going pretty well. What else has been going on YouTube-wise? I already mentioned that. All right, so the main mistake that I've made with YouTube is it takes me a while to edit videos, and I don't like editing. It takes me a long time because I don't like it, and because it's not really what I'm passionate about. What I like to do is songwriting, music. I like to do that side of things, the stuff that happens on camera rather than like editing stuff behind the scenes. So my action item for this next month is going to be to get an editor to do this for me, which I should have done a while ago. And I think now I've had to go through this struggle and see for myself, hey, I need to get an editor. So that's my action item for this month. Moving right along to the next set of goals, fitness. So my overall fitness goal is to get my dream 10 out of 10 body, but I'm focusing specifically on developing my chest and, chest and shoulders, which I think I've been going pretty well with that. I've been going with some coworkers now, so it's not just me and my previous gym buddy. We've got 4 of us that started going together, and it's cool. I like the environment that it builds, and I feel like I've been doing a lot better because of that. What else we got? Oh yeah, I got a scale, so I'm finally tracking my weight, which I should have been doing for a long time now, but well, you live and you learn, so that's why it took me a while. And then something that's been cool is actually seeing the weight increase that I'm lifting. So I specifically remember when I could not lift these weights. I remember trying it and like failing miserably. So like the notable events, I guess, are I was able to actually bench plates for the first time. I remember I tried doing that before and it didn't work out, but now I can do that. I can also do arnold presses with 25-pound weights. When before I was using like 10-pound dumbbells, now I've got to 25, so it's cool seeing the numbers increase and just becoming stronger. Feels good. The mistakes that I've made, or mistake singular that I've made, is what was pointed out by one of my coworkers, was that for the certain exercises, it's like I'm ego lifting and I'm losing my form. So my action item is going to be to make sure that I'm cognizant of my form, especially when I'm working out alone, because I really don't want to get hurt, and then that would suck, just like to be screwed up for the rest of my life. So I need to be more cognizant of that, and that's going to be my action item for this coming month of October. Moving along to music goals. I've made a lot of good progress here as well. So song number 1 is kind of in the same spot as it was before, where I'm just waiting to do the final or almost final arrangement and lyric writing. Song 2, I finally got the bass part recorded, and that's in the same state as song 1 now. Song 3, I've written a bunch of better riffs for that one. Right now I need to figure out what order they're going to go. So arrangement, I guess. I need to track a few of them still and then do the arrangement, and then by the end of October I'm going to have a guitar and drum demo of that done. Song number 4 is kind of in the same state as the first 2 songs, where I've got the instrumental demo, but there's a lot of placeholder riffs for the bass because I was trying some stuff out that some of it didn't really work out. Some of it sounds kind of goofy with the placeholder riffs. So I kind of write the actual bass part and then track that. Then I can move on to the actual arrangement and lyric writing process, which I'm very much looking forward to. Overall, with songwriting, I've done pretty well with, well, reading, writing meta lyrics, like I mentioned prior, and doing lyric writing exercises. I haven't entirely been consistent with that, but yeah, especially on work days, I haven't really been consistent. So like I finished off a songwriting challenge where I was doing object writing every day at the beginning of this month. And then right now my action item for this next month for lyric writing in particular is going to be to finish off all the exercises in writing better lyrics, because I did read the book through and there's exercises throughout. So it's kind of like a textbook, I guess, for songwriting, but I didn't do the exercises. I'm gonna start doing those now. I started yesterday on the first 2 or first 3, something like that. And I'm gonna go through and just do all of those for the month of October. And yeah, that's what we got for songwriting. For guitar, progress that I've made is I've still been learning stuff outside of guitar lessons, and I think that's been going pretty well. I'm learning more licks, and I feel more like a lead guitarist every time that I practice lead guitar work, which is pretty cool because, I mean, I'm still like in the search for my musical identity, my voice, through the guitar, but I feel like I'm on the right track, finally. And I finally got my real book. So, as you can see here, I've got it open to D Natural Blues, because I figured, hey, I've learned the solo already. I'm just tightening up the nuts and bolts. I might as well learn the head and just learn that whole song. So I'm really excited that I'm finally learning a jazz standard so I can become a proper jazz man. So yeah, that's what we're looking at for guitar-wise. I think my main action item for guitar is going to be just make sure that I'm doing something every day. So when I've noticed that on my work days, that's when I tend to fall off on a lot of my habits, and part of that is because I don't like to do like a meh job on things. So what I'll do is, like, I don't even pick up the guitar, but I need to just pick up the guitar for a couple minutes every day just to get something under my fingers, keep my chops up just a little bit, whether that's a scale, like the head of D Natural Blues, or some other solo that I'm working on. That's my action item for guitar. Do I have anything else for music? Yes, ear training. So I've continued to do harmonic interval ear training, and I'm getting better at that as well, as you would expect. I have been pretty inconsistent on my work days. Again, I think that's where a lot of this falls off, is on my work days. So I have to figure out a way to fit that in on my work days. That's my action item for ear training. Then overall self-improvement, my goal is to obsess over my goals so I can actually achieve them. And, well, I guess we'll just go over a bunch of general self-improvement stuff. So, books that I've read this month, I finally finished The Quick and Easy Way to Effective Speaking by Dale Carnegie, The Way of the Superior Man by Deida. I finally finished rereading it and finished taking my notes. And then, what was the third book? Oh, Writing Better Lyrics, that I've mentioned like a million times already. And then books that I read during this month, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, Preventive Medicine by Rollo Tomassi, What Must Be Done by Hans-Hermann Hoppe, and Rising Sun by Michael Crichton. And yeah, I've got a bunch of books in progress still, like in the background, but I don't really want to go over that because I don't think that really contributes much. So yeah, overall self-improvement wise, well, when I've been doing those meetings with my business partner and his partner, like romantic partner, we have these self-improvement meetings as well at the end, and that's really been helping us stay on track. I think, like, we actually will give each other action items, and it's a good way to, I like having it because I'm like, hey, if I'm wrong about something, like call me out so that way I know and I can like rethink things. Besides that, I had some other stuff here too. Let me go through my notes right quick. What else is going on? Oh, that was the big thing. For like 3 weeks now, this month, I've only been watching YouTube for specific things. Like if I'm like, hey, I want to learn like how to do whatever it was. Oh yeah, if it was like for some of the Luther stuff I'm doing, I'm like, how do I specifically do this? I will like look up a video, watch it, I'm like, okay, I know how to do this now. And then I just leave YouTube and I don't come back to it, which is kind of crazy. It feels good to like have that discipline finally, because I mean, 8 months ago I would not have expected this back when I first started self-improvement. So that feels really good. Besides that, what else? Oh yeah, so those last four, I guess the last 4 books that I mentioned, well, What Must Be Done is an essay, but anyway, the last 4 books that I read, well, specifically The Way of the Superior Man, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then Preventive Medicine were like the big 3 that, after I read those like in quick succession, I'd had like a mindset shift and something just clicked in me, and all of a sudden something's changed for the better. Like I make better decisions, I make decisions faster, I'm more confident in my decisions, and I'm more confident just about myself in general. I think the confidence part might come, besides the mindset stuff, I guess that comes from the gym as well. But it's been interesting, just being able to think like, I don't know how to describe it exactly, kind of like a meta perspective. Like I'm not like viewing things as myself, but I'm viewing things from like an outside perspective and then making decisions, which helps with making better decisions. So I think that's been pretty good. The 2 mistakes that I've made this past month, I've noticed that I spend a lot of time on my phone, like looking at guitars or guitar design ideas, which, I mean, that has its place, but I feel like I go past the point where I'm actually being productive. So I think that's starting to become a problem that I like to nip in the bud. And I noticed that that's something that happens every time I start doing Luthery again, is I just pick up the phone and then I get lost in that rabbit hole of guitar design because there's so many cool guitars to look at. And then also, I've also been having a hard time getting out of bed a lot of days, which like not like depression wise, but it's more like instead of standing up right away, which is what I used to do whenever my alarm would go off, I just stand up right away and boom, I'd be awake. I'll like open my eyes typically before my alarm goes off, then I'll just be like, well, I'm still kind of tired, so I'll try to go back to sleep. But then when I do that, I wake up even more tired because then my alarm goes off and it's not good. Not a good way to start the day. So my action items for those are to, well, one of them is going to be to revamp my habit tracker, which I do every month. But besides that, relating to the mistakes that I made this past month, I'm going to start leaving my phone in the other room like I used to do whenever I'm trying to do something productive. And then I'm also going to just start getting out of bed and standing up right away once I wake up. So that wraps everything up for this month's review. As always, my name is Greg Angel, and if you like this video, hit that like button down below, leave a comment if there's something you agree with, disagree with, have a question, want to tell me that I'm wrong about. Anything like that, leave a comment down below and consider hitting that subscribe button. And thank you for watching. See you next month.